Welcome back to Company Grip Guitar. I am Ben, and today we're going to be looking at this, the Airstep MP. Let's get into it. Well, welcome back to my channel. This is something that's really cool that a lot of you have commented on or asked me about ever since I did my Fender Mustang Micro Plus review about a year ago. XSonic has come out with the Airstep MP, which is a pedal that's designed to work with and control some aspects of the Fender Mustang Micro Plus. Now, they were actually just putting the finishing touches on this pedal when they asked me if I wanted to review it. And of course I said yes, but as a result, there's not really a lot of information out there yet. In fact, I don't even know if you can buy this yet. If you can, it'll be just when this video drops. And it's a pretty cool little pedal, but I have had to figure it out on my own. But thankfully, Airstep has released pedals for Positive Grid stuff, for the Katana stuff, for the Tone X stuff. So there is a lot of information for those pedals, and I think this pedal borrows a lot of those similar processes and features. So I was able to kind of piece together enough to form a pretty decent review, I think, as well as a kind of instructional guide with regard to some of the, I don't want to say problems, but one of the situations that I came up with. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about this pedal, and then I'll run through a demonstration, and you know, it should be pretty easy. Well, let's start with the box first. Now, this is obviously the box they sent me. I'm not sure if this is the final complete list of what's going to be included when it's out for retail. Now, I've got obviously the pedal, a power cable, some stickers here which are used to label what the switches are. Then we've got a little Instagram card that's got a QR code to link to their Instagram or their Facebook. You've got another QR business card style here that will link to the app, and I did actually do this already, and on that app it's for updating firmware of your pedal. As far as the pedal itself goes, very nice construction. It's all stamped aluminum. It feels very rigid. It's got a really nice weight to it. I'm not too worried about breaking this thing in the future. Layout's very simple. You've got 5 kick switches on the top. Then on the back side, you've got a function button. You've got the power on and off toggle. You've got the 9-volt power input. And then lastly, you've got a Bluetooth antenna. Now, one thing I want to talk about is this 9-volt power input. The cable they give you is the typical 9-volt power that you get for most pedals, but then the other end is a USB, and I thought, that's kind of weird, like a USB power, because not a lot of power boards have USB, as far as I'm aware anyway. Well, it turns out in researching XSonic's other products, they have a lot more description about what the pedal actually has in it, and that's where I learned that this thing has a built-in battery supply, and really that cable is just for charging this thing up. Now, with a little investigatory work, it seems like this has the same power supply as some of those other pedals, and from those you can expect to get about 15 hours of use out of a full charge. So that's a pretty awesome companion to the Fender Mustang Micro Plus if you get 15 hours out of this, and I forget what it was out of the Mustang Micro Plus, but pretty awesome, powerful, portable setup there. Now I'm going to charge up my Airstep here as well as the Fender Mustang Micro Plus, and then I will talk about how the pedal actually functions, and then I'll go through a little bit of a demonstration here. Now, Airstep says this thing is ready to go pretty much right out of the box. They've got a little video on their website, a very short video that shows a gentleman turn on his Fender Mustang Micro Plus, then turn on the Airstep, and then magically everything's all connected and he's playing. And I thought, wow, that's really crazy how that works, because, you know, Bluetooth and setting all that up and synchronizing it with your phone or whatever, connecting it and stuff, pairing, that's what it's called. Now, I didn't have the same luck as that gentleman. It seems like when I followed those instructions by turning on the Fender Mustang Micro Plus and then turning on the Airstep, the two devices did connect, but then when I would turn on the app on my phone, it would just do the little spinny circle and nothing would actually load. Now, I did mess around with that probably for about 20 minutes before I figured, you know what? What if I was starting from the ground up? How would that work out? And I think I figured out the solution. So I imagine there's going to be other people that have this problem. This is what you're going to want to do, first of all. You would go to your Bluetooth settings first. Then you're going to go all the way down to the Fender Mustang Micro Plus, and you're going to go, forget this device. Now, not just disconnect, but you're going to want to forget the device. So yes, I click forget this device. I check in my Bluetooth, and yeah, there's a bunch of crap in there, but there is no Fender Mustang Micro Plus or any other sort of Mustang Micro Plus Bluetooth connectivity. Now that I've erased the Mustang Micro Plus from my phone's memory, I'm going to turn the Bluetooth off, just temporarily. Going back to the Mustang Micro Plus, I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to switch the Bluetooth function on. So it's got the little blue blinking light that says, hey, I'm ready to be synchronized with something. And that's what I'm turning the Airstep back on now. Let's see, is it connected? Yes, it is now connected. So The Airstep is now connected to my Mustang Micro Plus. Now I'm going to go back to my Bluetooth and turn it back on, and you'll see the Mustang Micro Plus in my Bluetooth here. And I'm going to scroll down to that, and now I'm going to connect the Bluetooth to this. And working, and bada bing, bada boom. iPhone connected to the Mustang Micro Plus, connected to the Airstep. Now, bear in mind, I could get everything to connect before, I just couldn't get the app to work. But if I turn on the app now, which is what, the Fender Tone app, and this is kind of a little quirk. I've noticed sometimes it'll say Airstep MP on the screen, and sometimes it'll still say Mustang Micro Plus. Either one is fine. I'm gonna hit connect, and you'll see I'm actually in the app now. And I've got my preset loaded up there. It says Airstep Test 1. So my theory, in case you're curious about what's going on, is I believe this is actually functioning as a repeater for the Fender Mustang Micro Plus, which is why you need this to connect to this before your phone connects to either of them. So this kind of takes the place of the Mustang Micro Plus, and then everything is just transferred through the app or your phone to the Airstep and then to the Mustang Micro Plus and vice versa. So you've got 5 switches there. They're all laid out pretty easy. The first 4 switches correlate with the 4 stomp boxes, which in this case would be stomp box, your mod, your delay, your reverb. And the last switch correlates with the tuning function of the Fender Mustang Micro Plus. The last 3 switches have the ability to do a long press versus a short press, which serve different functions. So I'll give you an example of this. The stomp boxes, I click it once, stomp box turns on. For the mod section, stomp it once, mod section turns on. When we get to the delay, to turn it on, I would do a long press. And to turn it off, I would do a long press as well. And if I do a short press, let's see if I can show you this. Let me turn it back on. I'll click the actual thing open. I'll show you this. If I do short presses, it sets the delay time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty cool, right? Now when we do the reverb, same thing, a long press turns it on, and a long press turns it off. Now short press on the reverb sets the preset down. So right now I'm at preset 80. If I click it once real quick, I'm down in preset 79. Now the last switch, you got it, does do the preset up with a quick switch. So now I'm back to preset 80, but if I hold it down, it'll turn on the tuning function, which is something I griped about, I think, in my review, was that the tuner, I think, should pop up on the actual phone itself, but it doesn't. So you have to look at this, which you can see is the tuning menu there. And then you'll see when I do a long press here to turn it off. Now we're back to our patches. So pretty simple functionality, right? You've got a switch for each pedal, a switch for the tuning function, and then 2 additional switches that go patch up, patch down, or preset up, preset down. And that's kind of it, really. It's a very simple layout, but it does make sense. So I'll do a quick demonstration here of it in practice, just so you can follow along with how quick it is, because it's honestly, there's like no latency at all. So what I'm going to do here, just so everybody knows, and it's all complete disclosures, I've got a 1/8 inch jack to a 1/4 inch jack here. I'm going to plug the 1/8 inch jack into my Fender Mustang Micro Plus. I'm going to take the 1/4 inch jack and plug it into a Focusrite Scarlett here, which is then going to my laptop. And I'm just going to do a little record here. We're active. Now I'm going to take one of my favorite guitars here. Plug the Mustang Micro Plus into this. So time for a quick little demonstration here. I've got a patch I've created. It's called Airstep Test 1. So I'm going to turn on my tuner first, which I will hold down switch number 5. Tuner activates on the Fender Mustang Micro Plus. You can't see it. You'll just have to trust me. And let's see, we're going to do a little drop D here. Check everything else out. Then we do a long press to turn the tuner off. You can see the light goes off on the actual Airstep because the tuner is not on. And then we'll activate the delay with a long press. And we'll activate the reverb with a long press. You can see both of those lights are on now. And we'll set our time for the delay. So right now we're looking at this. And I think I want more of like, pretty close. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's see. see, let's turn on a little bit of this, the chorus, and we'll turn on a little bit of the distortion. Turn off the reverb with a long press. So that's kind of the gist of this pedal. It actually works very well, and I have to say, maybe even better than I expected. I was kind of thinking, since we were going around like this back alleyway to get the phone to connect to the pedal, to connect to the Mustang Micro Plus, that maybe it would lose connectivity or some of the connection would just be a little spotty, but I have not had those problems once yet actually with this. It's very easy to set up. I do think that there's going to be people that have the same sort of startup issues that I did with trying to get everything to work in harmony. But if you just follow my guide, it should be pretty easy. You know, the key takeaway is just to erase the Mustang Micro Plus from the Bluetooth on your phone before starting the instructions of turning on the Mustang Micro Plus, turning on the pedal, and then synchronizing your phone to the Mustang Micro Plus before turning on the app. Now, I'm trying to anticipate questions people are going to have about the Airstep here. And so first one would be, what's the price? As far as I know, it's supposed to be about 90 bucks, maybe 100 bucks. Not too bad. I don't think anyway, for this construction. It's very nice, especially when you compare it to the Katana pedal that's all plastic and feels like it's going to break at any second. Second question I think people are going to ask is, how do you know where you're at when you're on the pedal board and you're patching up or patching down? Yeah, sure, it would be nice if it had like a little display here that said like patch 72, the foil of Jaws, or whatever you name your patch, but it doesn't have it. So you're gonna have to use what you did before you had the pedal, which was either looking at the tiny screen here or the screen on your phone that says what patch it is. Another question I think people are gonna ask is there any way to change the function of the switches? As of right now, there is no way to reprogram the functionality of the switches as far as they pertain to the Fender Mustang Micro Plus. So you're kind of stuck with what you get here, which is stomp boxes, mods, delay, reverb, tuner, or patch up, patch down. It's kind of all people were asking for anyway. I'm pretty excited about it because I actually do use my Mustang Micro Plus quite a bit, especially now that my wife's working at home. I do want to thank XSonic for sending this out to me to test out. I'll put a link for what I think is the website for this in the description below. Feel free to ask me any questions you have about it. Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. I want to give a shout out to my Patreon subscribers as well for supporting my channel. And you know, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button or maybe even subscribing. Or you can check out my Patreon, which has a lot of free stuff. I think there's some tabs on there. I don't know, I'm always posting pretty pictures of guitars and things like that. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching this video. I'll talk to you next time.